All right, Laura's was, what are the top 3 reasons to use DAX Studio? How early should we include it in Power BI training? Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a good.
Top 3. So I think so let's start from the third. The third reason is to help you optimize in DAX code. Today, we don't have any tool that helps you more than DAX Studio when it comes to performance optimization. But I will put it at number 3 because it's not the first thing that you have to do in a training. The first 2 reasons are probably having an editor that allows you to study DAX, to try DAX code without having to, create a measure and then try the measure. So having something that helps you understanding also how DAX works. You can just copy a query from Power BI and paste it in DAX Studio and run it. For example, in my training, the first demo I do with DAX Studio, I get a query from Power BI in the performance analyzer, copy, paste the query in DAX Studio, run it. Because this way you can understand how Power BI works underneath. You can see how the data is moved to the visual and what the visual receives. Because the visual doesn't have DAX, the visual just receives a table with the data and has to display them. And so I would say that this is the first reason. The second reason is that in general, DAX Studio improves the productivity because sometimes I find that the editor in Power BI is not so good.
You can say it. You can say it. It's okay.
No. It's not so good. Not because the editor by itself would be nice. The problem is that I have 4 monitors in my desktop, 2 monitors here.
Yes.
But the Power BI desktop is just one window that pretend an editor to be a combo box. I mean, we have Visual Studio Code. We have Notepad++. Notepad is a different window. Why I have to live in a combo box that hides my report when I'm typing a measure, I cannot see the result of the measure. And this is the first reason why we use now Tabular Editor to write measures. I no longer write measures in Power BI Desktop because I want another window to write the code and I see in the report what is happening when I change the code, for example. And DAX Studio is another editor. So now we have Tabular Editor. Probably Tabular Editor is better for many things, but at the same time, DAX Studio is still more flexible from other points of views. But I would say DAX Studio is more about managing what you are writing. Is not a development tool. Is a tool that is part of the development experience, but is not what I use to create the model. Whereas Tabular Editor is what I use to create the model and write the DAX code for my measures. Whereas I use DAX Studio to test my measures, for example. This is the difference. So I use both. I use both.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll say this, Marco. When you guys put IntelliSense in Tabular Editor, I'm never writing another DAX expression in Power BI, the desktop. I'm just saying.
Signed by me too, and we just have to, Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel. Come on, Daniel. We know you're there.
Get this recording.
Yes.
Send it to who has to receive this recording,
yes.
and please include the chat window. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes. I can help facilitate that as well.